Hello you guys, this is Jetpack Driver 1 here, and I'm going to be starting a new series on the Eazy crew where I'm just going to be reviewing most of the oddball vehicles that you rarely see driving around or seeing anybody driving around in GTA Online. And so my first episode here is going to be on all 3 Halloween vehicles excluding the Vigilante since I've already done a review on it. And so first I want to start off with the Lurcher, then going to the Frankenstein, and then going with the Sanctus. And so the Lurcher is a hearse, and it's a pretty weird looking hearse. Not weird looking, but pretty good looking hearse. And basically all I think of it is a modified Buccaneer, because I see the front of that really resembles a Buccaneer, and it's pretty cool. It has some cool features that really no other cars have. If you look in the back of the hearse, you have a coffin with a zombie in it, and you just have a little zombie buddy that rides around with you the whole time. And if you go into the car, and the horn on it is not much of any other car. Its stock horn is not compared to any other car, as it's this. And it's a pretty demonic horn. I think it's based off of like an organ or something. I'm not so sure, but its stock horn is not it's like different from any other car. And now I'm gonna go into the LSE to show y'all the customization for the Lurcher hearse. And as for a muscle car, it ain't gonna be a lot of customization to it, maybe a few things to it. And so when we get in, as first you're gonna see all the standard upgrades as armor, brakes. You got some different bumper options. You got a chin spoiler, and then if you go to the rear bumper, you got a wheelie bar, which I don't put the wheelie bar because that makes it look bad. Then we go into the engine upgrades. You got exhaust upgrades. You can have back exhaust, or you can have side exhaust. Then explosives. Then you go onto the grill. You can have yourself a custom grill. Then go onto the hood. You can have all these hood upgrades. I didn't put no hood upgrades on mine. I just left mine stock. Then you can do the horn, but I wouldn't advise changing the horn because the stock horn already is pretty cool as it is. Then you can put on some ornaments in here. I got the Grim Reaper bobblehead, but you can put any ornament that you want. Then you go on to the lights. You can put neons and different headlights. Then the liveries, you got the 2 liveries. You either got this one or this one. I like the black and white one, as the color scheme with my car already matches this. And then you got the plate customization. I got my Jetpack's plate on it. Got respray options. I've matched. I didn't really change the color. I just put the livery on there. Then you got suspension upgrades, you got transmission upgrades, turbo upgrades. Then I got some muscle wheels on mine, and you can get tinted windows. And when you take this thing off the road, you're going to first notice that it's going to feel kind of heavy and uncontrollable, as it's kind of big and bulky. And it's a good drifting car if you are our type of drifting guy. And it's a pretty fast car too. It's pretty speedy for a hearse, and it's kind of heavy, and when you're going at high speeds you may run into things, and if you hit something, you might not be able to recover it depending on what you hit and how you hit it. And so then after this I'm going to do a speed test. I've made my own custom drag race. It's almost a mile. It's like 0.91 miles. It's at the Sandy Shores airstrip, and I can compare the hearse and the Frankenstein together, but not so much of the Sanctus. I'm going to have to do record another thing with another chopper bike, probably the Nightblade, and compare it to that. So I will see you guys when I get to the drag race. So as you guys saw, the Lurcher hearse is pretty speedy along a drag strip, especially if it's a short one. So as you guys saw, it managed to finish in about 20 seconds, a little bit under 20 seconds. And so we're going to compare that with the Frankenstein, and we're gonna see which one is faster than each other, and which one would be ultimately the better one to buy. But in my opinion, y'all should buy both of them if y'all have the chance to, because at this current moment, the Halloween update is still running. It runs till November the 6th. When this video is uploaded, though, it will be gone. But I suggest if y'all would have bought this or buy it next time it comes out, just so y'all can have some cool vehicles to show off to other players in the game, and that you just have some cool vehicles. So on to the Frankensteins now. Alright, you guys, so the Frankenstein is, in my opinion, my favorite out of the two Halloween cars that have been released since the Halloween update has first been introduced to GT Online. And it looks cool, it sounds cool, its engine sound is like one in a kind, unique to any other car in the game, and this thing looks awesome, but I made mine look kind of funny compared to what sports classic cars should look like. It has a down roof in the back, making it like a convertible for the back half. Has a big back axle, and it's basically a modified Roosevelt, and basically it's a rat rod version of it. And so I'm going to take this thing into the LSC to show y'all what customizations can be applied to it. And also, once again, this thing doesn't have crazy customizations to it, and so don't expect to get too crazy when customizing this car. And oh, I forgot to say, the Lurcher Hearse is about $600,000, and the Frankenstein is just a little bit over $500,000. And so when you get here, you got the normal armor upgrades, brake upgrades, engine upgrades. You can change the intake of it. You can get a single intake or a triple intake. Then you get onto the horn. It has a unique horn as well. It got a unique horn, but I got a Halloween horn on it because it seems like it'd be better with the Halloween horn than its horn, but it has a unique horn just to let y'all know as well. Then you can also add another bobblehead to it, just like the Lurcher Hearse. And then it can also be applied with xenon headlights and neon kits. Then its liveries, it has 4 liveries besides the unlike the 2 that the Lurcher Hearse has. I have chrome, so it's kind of hard to see them, but excuse me. You got Midnight Potion, which is kind of a purple flame. It's kind of hard to see with that chrome purple. You got Hell's Furnace, which is basically normal fire. You got Blazing Death, which is a flaming skull, and Spider Trap, which is kind of hard to see because I can't even see it myself. There's some of it right there. It's basically webs. And yeah, then you got a respray option. I did the crew chrome glitch on mine. And then I don't know why I pressed that. You got suspension upgrades. And then got transmission upgrades, turbo upgrades. You can change the wheels to any type of wheels. I put some high-end wheels on mine. Then you can tint the windows. And so now it's time to take this thing on the road. At first when you notice, when you try to take off with this thing, it sucks at taking off. So you'll be making a lot of skid marks when you do it. But when you're on the road, it's a bit heavy. You'll also notice that. And it's kind of, if you hit something, it's going to be kind of hard to recover. You may not even be able to the point where you can't even recover the car. And as you just noticed there, the left back wheel is kind of clipping through its cover right there. But honestly, in my opinion, I don't care about the flaws in this thing. This thing is awesome. It sounds awesome. It is awesome. And I just think it's a good buy for y'all. And I think y'all should buy it if y'all have the chance to. And so now I'm going to take this thing to the drag race to ultimately see which one is faster. So as you guys saw, the times on the Lurcher and the Frankensteins are relatively similar. I will edit the times up on the video once I edit this video. But both are relatively similar in time. They both finished at a little bit under 20 seconds. And Both are great cars. Really, in my opinion, they're both great. And so I just suggest y'all buy them both. And so now it's time to move on to the last review, which is the Sanctus. Alright guys, so the Sanctus is the most expensive out of the Halloween vehicles. You may think it's a ripoff, but it's a little bit under $2 million. And yeah, you're probably saying, oh god, Jetpack, that vehicle is too overpriced, we're not going to buy it. But honestly, just because it's overpriced doesn't mean it's good. And it is good in my opinion. It's basically a modified Avarius. If y'all don't know what that bike is, it's basically one of the choppers that came out in Bikers DLC. And the Sanctus is actually pretty speedy. I won first place in a race with it before. And it can perform wheelies surprisingly, even though most choppers can't perform wheelies. The only flaw I can see in this bike is that when you're driving and you turn too sharp, it will drift like that. It will sometimes turn too sharp and it'll kind of mess you up depending on what you're doing. And so I want to take this thing to the LSC and show you. This thing, I can tell you, has a lot of customizations you can do to it. And so when we get in here, you got the armor, you got brakes, you got different types of body work. You can change the front mud guard, the rear mud guard if in case you don't want those webs. You got different fuel tanks and belt drive covers and all that. Then when you got the engine, you got the engine block. You can change the color of the engine block. Excuse me again. You got the regular engine upgrade. Then you got different air filters. And most of this is also all applied on the biker stuff. And you got different exhaust. I just stuck with the stock exhaust because it looks the best, but it's whatever you want. It's whatever y'all want to do. Then you got different horns. I just left the horn stock, even though a Halloween horn would fit it best. You can change the eye color. You can either if you like red eyes or blue eyes. Depends on what you want. And then you got different liveries for it, but I suggest if you just leave it without liveries. And then got different plate options. I once again got my Jetpack's plate on it. And then you can change the color. Got the primary and secondary color. Then transmission upgrades, turbo upgrades. I left the wheels stock because stock wheels look pretty cool. And that's about it. And so basically back to what I was telling about how this thing operates on the road. It doesn't have a very good takeoff, but it's better than the two cars. And I'm telling you, if you turn too sharp, it's gonna kind of turn too sharp and kind of mess you up. But this thing can weave in and out of traffic pretty good, and so it's pretty good for driving on the roads. It's not very good for like trying to like doing races, even though I did tell you I did win first place with it before. But that's because the stunt tracks are big, and so yeah. See how it just drifted right there? That really messes you up depending on what you're doing. And so now I'm gonna take this thing onto the drag race, and I'm probably gonna do another drag race off camera, and put the footage in the video, and just to compare it with something else. I'm probably gonna compare it to the Avarius, just because they're two similar bikes. And so I will see you guys at the drag race. So as you guys see, there's something kind of fishy right there because the Sanctus managed to outdo the Frankensteins and the Lurch. If you saw it, finished in about 17 seconds, and the other two finished in about 19. And so something's kind of weird right there. I feel like something's kind of off right there. And so once my Varus gets delivered, I want to do a race with that, and then that'll be the end of this review. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review on the 3 Halloween vehicles. I like the Halloween vehicles, and to say if y'all should buy them, yes, buy them because they're all limited time. The Vigilante I'm not so sure about, but that's excluded from this one since I already done a review on it. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this review. This is going to the Eazy crew, and this is going to be a new series of mine. This is episode 1 of the Oddball reviews. This is basically going to be reviewing oddball vehicles that you hardly ever see, that are rare, unattainable, and just hard to find. I'm even going to be doing story mode vehicles in the future, so get prepared for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just, smash that like button, subscribe to the Commanders, and I'll talk to you guys later.